4, 3, 2. It's the blueprint. Melanie Morgan. Raj Giri. He's a millionaire. Glenn XT. Jay Gunty. Pop, pop, pop. Pop, 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 pop. Pop, 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 pop.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We are back. It has been a while, and here we are together again. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, joined by Raj Giri and Matt Morgan. And why am I hearing myself? I'll figure that out. But yeah, good to see you both.
Yeah, good to hear you too. It sounds like you've got your audio on somewhere in another tab. Yeah, good to hear you too. It sounds like there was
Possibly. That's you, Raj.
Let me mute myself for a second. It's been a minute.
Yeah. Hey, Matt, Raj is the one that fucked up due to technical difficulties for a change.
Yay, it wasn't me. For once.
Okay. Here we go. We're back. Hope everyone's doing well. Wrestling, it's WrestleMania season. WrestleMania comes to Vegas in a week. I got my hotel on the Strip. I'm going to be there. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm covering. Am I covering anything? But it seems that due to a poor build and economic conditions, this might be not the best WrestleMania ever in terms of attendance.
Which is crazy. Didn't they boost their prices like insanely high versus normal?
Yeah, it's like $500 for nosebleeds.
So what was it normally before?
Well, I mean,
Last
9
year.
years ago, and this was a much different time, but I remember for Dallas, you could get into the nosebleeds. I think it was, but granted, it was only one night. But Raj, it was like $100. Maybe there was even a couple sub $100 tickets for Dallas in 2016.
What about last year? That's too long ago, 9 years. What about last year? Do we have
last year was still pretty expensive.
Yeah, I mean, really, since TKO took over, they've raised the prices a lot. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
So, yeah, we can hear you. But they've been selling out everywhere. So why aren't they selling out here?
Well, there's a couple things. First off, this is a smaller stadium than most of the ones they've run. It's actually one of the smallest stadiums they've done.
Which would be easier to sell out.
Right. So when you do that, you raise the prices even more. And then since it's Las Vegas, you raise the prices even more. So the prices are just insane. But it's like that by design. You know, it's like the whole thing of you sell 100 tickets for $2,000 or you sell 1,000 tickets for $10. You know, you make way more money with selling fewer tickets, but a lot more, but at a much higher cost. So it's going to be pretty full by the time they hit the show, and I'm sure they're going to start offering some discounted tickets and some promotions, but it's almost like they wanted to test how high they could go being in the most expensive market they can run and also being WrestleMania and kind of seeing what the peak is. And I think they're seeing it right now.
Okay.
But the secondary market for WWE has also been insane. I talked about this. It's hard to believe it's been almost a year since that Sami Zayn comedy show I went to. That sold out in 24 hours. I get to the show. It was 40% empty because it was scalpers who bought the tickets, put them on StubHub, and it inflates the value. So look, I don't think I've got any media access or anything. On my plan for next week, I'm just buying everything StubHub 2 hours before the show for anything I want to go to at fire sale prices.
Yeah. And Justin Lopez, a good friend, said he paid $45 for WrestleMania 27 in Atlanta. And Trell is pointing out that his WrestleMania 38 tickets were $225 for mid-level. And the nosebleeds this year are $800. So
wow. Thank you, Trell.
Yeah.
But here's the testament to Mania in Vegas. Either you guys coming out to Vegas for this?
No.
I have a wedding, so I can't go.
Okay. Well, if you see me or Issa is coming to hang out with me, say hi. We'll be there.
Oh, you're talking to the listeners, not us.
Not to you. Not to you, jabrones. Yeah, it's crazy though, right? Because think about how hype we were for Mania in the past. You know, if this were last year and it was in Vegas, I think everybody would be like, oh my God, The Rock's coming back. This is going to be huge. CM Punk is going to do something. It would be much bigger.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
weird. Like, Cena as the heel really should be pouring gasoline on these ticket sales, and I don't see why it's not. But I don't know.
I figured it out, Matt. I got back from the gym. I was eating my protein, drinking this god awful chalky stuff called Perfect Aminos. Do you know about this?
No.
It's the amino acids of protein, but it's the equivalent of 30 grams of protein in powder or tablets. Chalky as hell. Anyhow, and I had an epiphany about the Cena heel turn. They waited so long to do this that, you know what it's like? It's like the Beetlejuice sequel. Everybody for years was like, oh man, Beetlejuice was great. I can't wait until we get a second one. And in your head, you thought about what that would be like. It finally came out and you're like, what's this shit? This isn't what I was thinking it was going to be. This is Cena's heel turn. They waited too long.
Still, go ahead, Raj.
I was gonna say, I mean, Matt, Glenn, were you a fan in '96 when Hogan turned?
I remember it was all everyone was talking about. As we know, Matt Morgan took a Sharpie and drew a beard and made NWO Hogan on his LJN Bendy figure.
Well, when Hogan turned, they had a plan. Like they had the whole thing. Like it was going to be him, Hall, and Nash, and they were taking over. And there was just this big, well thought out plan. And with Cena, you know, the first week, all of a sudden, you know, first he sold out to The Rock. Then the next week, he just hates the fans and they're two-sided. And then he wants to retire. You know, it just feels like they haven't had, they did the heel turn, but they haven't had a cohesive plan of what to do next. And it just, I thought that he had a great segment with Cody last week, but it just hasn't felt cohesive. It's just been all over the place.
It is. I mean, he did do the Hogan-esque, you know, I was faking all those, you know, you fans are the ones that, you know, stabbed me in the back, not me stabbing you in the back. You know, he did that at first of his explanation. He should have, in my opinion, leaned more into the Rock purpose of it, right? Of how Rock was involved in making him do this after all these years of, besides Bruno or San Martino, being the only true babyface to never turn heel in WWE or WWF history. He could have had that claim, right? Nobody else is going to be able to say that ever again, that they've never been not a heel, at least once. And for him to cash all his chips in and turn heel, I do agree they should have had more, but I'd also be lying to say that his promos or his in-ring segments have not been must-see. I've been very excited every week that he's advertised to be there. And I thought Cody did a masterful job of being able to hang with him last week on the mic.
Yeah. You know, while Cena has never turned heel, he was a heel at the beginning, and I felt like.
What am I saying? Yeah, that's right. What the hell am I saying? I was involved in the angle turning case at Survivor Series.
But I feel like his promo style right now, being the same as a babyface, like again when Hogan turned, he changed it. He was still doing the brother stuff, but he was really obnoxious. Really, you know, he changed his style. He was way over the top heelish. And Cena's still kind of his cadence and everything is still the same, and the way he dresses is the same. It's like he needs more of a change. I don't know. It just hasn't been that effective, like as effective as you would have thought for the biggest heel turn this century, right?
Do you think they? Oh, I'm sorry, man. What were you gonna say?
I would have liked him to see his. I know it sounds silly, but cut his hair, get rid of that haircut that he has, and grow a beard or a goatee or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, something to change it up a little bit. And it's hard because he's wearing the Carlo for t-shirts. And I get it. Not every heel comes wearing black the next week. I always did kind of think that was kind of hokey. Like when Hogan did it, it was cool. But like after he did it, anytime anybody turned heel, they'd come back with like a different shirt, a different color gear, different color this. And I get it freshens up the character. I do. But really just from one week to the next, you know, you're now Bizarro Superman. You know what I mean? So it's kind of cheesy and 80s cliche-ish doing it. But because this dude's t-shirts are literally like Rock said, Fruity Pebbles colors. It's hard to take him seriously being like a badass heel. But I don't know. I'm still digesting it. I like it. Let me be clear. I love it. I like it. I like it better than what it was going to be.
Yeah. I mean, I think because it looks like The Rock's not going to be involved at all with the, we only got one more week to go and he hasn't made any TV appearances. So as far as the build up to Mania, it looks like he's not going to be involved at all. I would think he's going to be there at the show, but I mean, they could have just explained it where Cena said, Rock is getting me all these movie, I was getting a bunch of movie deals before, but Rock is taking me to the next level. He's helped, he's got all these deals and endorsements signed up for me. I'm taking that title and I'm out of here. Just tying in the whole Rock turn without Rock being involved, making it make sense. And maybe, I don't know if you want two wrestlers in suits cutting promos, but maybe soon Cena, it's like, I'm done with the Fruity Pebbles clothes. This is how I am. You see me in the media. This is what I wear. And he starts wearing suits and just changing it up.
I think a goatee would have done a world of justice.
I just wonder with his movie and TV commitments, like if he can't do it.
Yes, shave it off, dude. We have what do you call it now? CGI.
Oh
right,
yeah, like
he's filming something
Henry
right
Cavill
now
for Superman.
They can do whatever they want now. People can shave their heads now. Look at Rock with Moana.
Okay, so two things. One, I think they kind of blew their window when he was getting booed and just sort of leaned into that as part of his babyface character. Like that's tough, right? Like you have the audience hating you, but you don't change how you are. So it's really tough to get a genuine reaction from them. Like he almost has to be the coolest heel ever. Although it is funny, and I've seen this a lot online. It's like, man, if we just would have seen Total Divas, Total Bellas, John Cena. Oh my God. Like people would hate that guy.
And again, he dresses really nice on that show. He's really anal. He totally could have leaned into that. And to Matt's point, I do think him turning heel makes his match with Cody a way bigger deal. Sure. I'm happy that they did it because I think babyface Cody versus babyface Cena wouldn't have had the, with Rock not wrestling this year and Roman and CM Punk being a three-way, even though they've been doing a great job with that. This is the one match that feels like a mega match, and Cena being heel is a big part of that.
Yeah, it is. What else? What did you guys think of? What do you guys think so far of the three-way with Punk, Roman, and Seth?
Matt and I, we were texting about this. I like it. I like that the favor is, him being in Roman's corner. It would have been cool if they saved that for a world title match, but I have a feeling there's going to be more to this. Obviously, the most obvious is that Paul Heyman turns on Roman, but I like the way they've been building to it. I like the Seth Rollins segment that they did on Raw last night. I thought it was good. What do you think, Matt? After
my prediction is that I think that Paul's going to leave with Seth because no one's going to see it coming. Seth does all his promos by himself. He doesn't need a manager normally, but I'd argue Roman doesn't need one. Punk's never needed one, but it still worked having Paul out there with them. Paul knows how to play his role no matter who he's in the ring with. A guy who can't talk like Brock in the beginning, or guys that are masterful, world beater promos like Punk have been great with together. But I think that's the only thing here that I think we're not seeing is that somehow Paul Heyman leaves with Seth Rollins and screws both of the Punk and Roman over somehow, because otherwise the favor being he wanted him in his corner. Like they had me hook, line, and sinker when they ended SmackDown with Punk saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, that's not the favor." Like I was like, damn, what a great way to finish this show. Great cliffhanger. I'm definitely tuning in the next week. I need to know what this favor is. And in my head, I thought it was always like somehow he can get a title shot out of this magically out of left field somehow, maybe at Mania, right? I don't know, something. But for the favor to be in his corner, like, he's out there anyway. He's out there, whether he's with Roman or he's there with Punk, he's technically out there with him anyway. He's out there, at ringside anyway. I don't know.
And during a match, he doesn't really do much in the corner.
No.
But to that point, it does add something to the match because, I do think if you went back 4 months and could redo this, you have Punk beat Gunther for the title, and it's Punk versus Roman. at WrestleMania, and then you have Heyman in Punk's corner. I just think that feels like another mega match. But with where they are now, I still think it adds something to it.
It would have been better in a singles match. I agree with you with the title on the line. I think you got to remember though, like Jay Uso was getting white hot at the time with his entrance, and that's a great spectacle on television, or if you're there live. I'd argue Jay's not followed up with it enough with his promos. His promos are sincere, but he's missing. There's something in that he's. Anyways, that's a whole nother topic. But I agree with you ultimately that it'd be much better if it was a singles match with Roman for the title that Gunther has. No disrespect to Gunther, he's done nothing wrong. They just haven't spotlit this poor guy. You know, with his style the way it is, you have to overly spotlight him like you were in the beginning. You have to make him more than just dominant. You got to get him on the air as much as humanly possible, even if it's backstage segments, whatever have you, him working out, his regimen, something every single week. He should never not be on television.
Yeah. And I like that idea with Rollins just because, and look, Rollins has been a main event guy for years and years and years, for a really long time, but Heyman would take him to the next level because he is kind of the weak link as far as star power goes in that match.
Which is crazy because Seth is crazy. First ballot Hall of Famer without question.
Right. Yeah.
But you're right.
When you think of when you think of the A++ guys, it's Cena, Roman, CM Punk, Brock, who's not around, but this would kind of move him closer to that territory. And Cody I'd put in that A++ territory as well. But yeah.
Yeah, Glenn, good talk. What do you think, Glenn?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's funny if Paul's reasoning is like, well, I haven't worked with him before, so I figured why the hell not? You know? I mean, that's a funny motivation for his character.
Who did you want to see win that three-way, Glenn? Wrestling fan Glenn.
CM Punk.
Me too.
He doesn't have that many years left.
Yeah.
And injuries as we learned last year, injuries can happen. Like, let's get this done. Ryan Rollins eats the pin. That way you can do Roman Cena one-on-one, or Roman CM Punk one-on-one later.
I just wish they had a title. I know Roman's such a megastar that you don't need a title because it's Roman. Yeah. I just wish they had a title involved in that.
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Glenn.
No, this really feels like the Mania though, where technically all of the pieces are there, but I just think about how hot they were last year to this year, and it's just not even close.
I agree. We have more pieces. We have more. Like Punk is not injured. Punk's wrestling, for example.
Yeah.
Right? He's not having to do play-by-play or whatever he's doing last year. You're right. But last year also had The Rock. You remember how gaslit we were watching that? Where I'm zooming in on the family tree on my iPhone and going, holy shit, guys, look at the names on this. Like Jacob Fatu's name's on there. And this guy, Rock's calling himself, he snuck in that he's the most over chief of them all. Look what he wrote. And nobody's talking about it. All of this Easter eggs and excitement around The Rock. Remember that PR event they did where Rock finally, smacks Cody?
I was there.
Yeah. That was awesome.
You were there. Duh. Right, that was red. It's white hot. I've ever seen this company, in my opinion, as a fan.
And Rock beating up Cody near the tour bus, outside of the ring with the rain coming down. I mean, it was just last year was just so electric, and I think that's why a lot of people probably feel more let down this year, is because the year before was so hot, and then the year before we had Cody versus Roman for the first time.
Do you think, is there any truth to the rumors that Rock was wanting to push for himself to be in the main event and it didn't happen?
Man, who knows? Okay. Who knows? There's all I know is there's a lot of there's a lot of people that are jealous about The Rock, obviously, in the in various positions in the company. But I do think if Rock, if he didn't know for sure he was going to be involved at Mania or the build up to Mania, they should have had, when they did the Cena heel turn, had different routes that they could go depending on what Rock's involvement was going to be. Because Rock, he's in that Scorsese movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, which is that's probably the most excited I've ever been for a movie with The Rock. He's got Moana, the live action Moana. He's got a ton of stuff coming up. that Red One was a gigantic hit on streaming, the biggest streaming hit of the year last year. Moana 2 was a gigantic hit. So, I mean, he's getting stuff just coming to him nonstop. But they should have had multiple scenarios. And that back to your, they usually do. I was kind of surprised. And Glenn, back to what you were saying about wanting Punk to win. Until about 20 minutes ago, I was with you. But now, after Matt with the Seth Rollins thing, now I'm kind of thinking that would be the coolest ending.
It's so weird, though. It's like last year was a really good year for entertainment. Even the Super Bowl, like Super Bowl last year compared to this year. Super Bowl last year was phenomenal. This year is like, you know?
Yeah.
Like, isn't it weird to have like 2024 nostalgia?
What was last year for the Super Bowl?
Last year was Kansas City versus whatchamacallit.
I thought you meant for the halftime show, because I was like, I love Kendrick, but I know
it was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, last year's Super Bowl, though, the game was great. Actually, Usher was great too.
Who the hell was it? Was it the Niners? Was it the Niners?
Yeah, I think it was the Niners versus the
Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. That was a great game.
Yeah.
But no, it's just, I feel, and right now I feel that, look, Vegas tourism is hurting right now. This is just gonna be a weird vibe. Like look, I booked my hotel the second this was announced last year, before the rates got jacked up. So it's like, even though I live 20 minutes from the Strip, I'm gonna be around as much as possible next week. Just to sort of soak it in. And I think the vibe is going to be strange. And what was crazy though, guys,
you don't think it's going to be packed? You don't think Las Vegas is going to be crawling with wrestling fans?
There's a lot of people who are not going to this. There's a lot of people that we know.
They're going to the surrounding things around Mania.
No, I'm saying there's a lot of people that we both know, that we all three know, who are like, no, I'm not going to Vegas for this year. I'm skipping it. Too expensive.
Not even like the sideshows and
not even that. Like, I think the talent's going to be here, but I'm just saying that, like, even media, there's just I'd rather just watch it and cover it from home. It's just crazy.
Well, but right now they're at about 51,000. It's probably more than that since the last update, but they're at 51,000 pretty much for both nights, and their setup is currently 53,000.
How many tickets are on StubHub?
I have no idea.
That's the question.
StubHub. I've had a bad experience with them, so I'm not even giving
Interesting.
Them the
first time I've ever heard that from somebody. But yeah, the resale market is insane. The resale market for everything in Vegas is out of control.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't pay these tickets. I mean, if they had Rock versus Roman, because my daughters are such huge fans of The Rock, we have a wedding on Saturday, but we'd probably fly out for Sunday.
Wow.
But these prices, it's too much for me. And we went to Taylor Swift, a couple of years ago.
Okay, that was a couple of years. That was a different time, Raj.
That was a different time. The market wasn't down 30%.
Don't be a panicking, Raj. Don't be a panicking.
I know.
All gonna come back.
So, what else have you guys been into coming into Mania?
That Tiffany Stratton Charlotte promo last Friday. Oh my God, people talked about that more than I think anything I've seen since the Rumble.
It was bad. I hated watching it. It felt so uncomfortable watching it. It did. It felt like a car crash. And for both talents. First of all, Charlotte's the one that messed most of it up, obviously. 3/4 of that promo, she was shook. Not shook, but not reacting the way you would. Even if you're supposed to be the babyface here. Turn on that. Turn on Chicago fans. You know they're smart fans. Don't put them over for being intelligent fans. And if they are, then go the complete heel route with this. You guys are supposed to be the smartest fans, in the United States. Yeah, right. If you guys had half a brain, half a clue, you would see I run circles around this woman in this ring. I go, look what I'm looking at right now. I go like, come on, this looks like somebody took me, Charlotte Flair, and threw me in a dryer for 5 years and out popped this midget. I would go berserk on her if I was Charlotte Flair. Go full dicky heel, full jerky heel. Even if you're supposed to be the face here, because it's obvious she's not Tiffany's supposed to be the face here.
Yeah.
At least that's my opinion. Like, there's no question she's supposed to be the face. Right?
That's the weird thing is that Charlotte was supposed to be the heel. She was supposed to be the heel. And then she tried going baby face when she's been the heel the last couple months. And then when she gets booed and instead of embracing it, she got shook.
It wasn't good.
It was one of those things. That night when I saw it, I was pissed. With Tiffany Stratton bringing up her divorce, because that part wasn't scripted. It was, yeah, and it's bringing up someone's personal life without their approval. Like, obviously, you use someone's personal life in a promo and you both agree to it, that's fine. But to bring it up with a veteran when you haven't been on the main roster for a year, I think that's just BS. And we saw what happened with CM Punk and Jack Perry and AEW and everything.
Yeah. But here's the thing: she's the baby face. And as the baby face, I'm not saying I go, gosh, golly, OG, baby face crap promo. Right. I'm not saying do that. But to go like Tiffany had her by not having to say anything. Tiffany didn't have to cut a promo out there because of Charlotte so obviously reacting to the fans booing her was enough. And I honestly, I don't know if I would have said anything at all.
It was bad.
You know what I mean? And then Tiffany, when she gets her one line in about the divorce, whatever, divorces, blah, 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 and acts like it was a mic drop, but it wasn't. She drops the mic and sprints out of the ring like a heel. That's not badass, right? So they didn't make our babyface look like a tough babyface standing up to Charlotte. Charlotte did not try to come across like a heel. So I don't know. I just know these are I'm not just saying this. These, like, Charlotte's my women's GOAT for me. Yeah. If you ask me that, who's the greatest female of all time, for me right now, it's Charlotte. Who knows what happens with Tiffany 5-10 years from now? I don't know. But in that ring, athletically speaking, holy ish, these are my two favorites, athleticism-wise, of what they can do inside that ring. Those are two thoroughbred athletes, those women. Like, those are stud athletes from other sports that friggin' are both outstanding in that ring. And I would there's a couple I would throw Bianca. Like, a perfect three-way match would be if you threw Bianca in there. And maybe Jade Cargill. Oh my God, that would be my all-time favorite athletic guy or girl, most athletic talent on the roster in one match. My head would explode.
It was one of those things where after I thought about it over the weekend, when because I was really pissed at again a rookie insulting
I felt bad.
Exactly. And then when I went back and I talked to a couple people actually this weekend, and I've heard like Charlotte hasn't really endured herself as much backstage, and like the next day was her birthday, and you really didn't see many people sending their birthday wishes and stuff, which was something that usually for a top star like you do. So it's kind of one of those things. I think Tiffany it had gotten to a point, and Charlotte did go a little off script in that promo. So it's almost like, well, if you're gonna do it, paybacks.
Tiffany
you gotta expect payback.
When Charlotte started doing that squeaky like Miss Piggy impression for Tiffany, it was just like, oh, this is like Tiffany saved that promo. And I'm sorry, Charlotte in the past, Paige referenced her brother.
But that was also agreed upon.
Sure, but I don't think what Tiffany did was not. I mean, it was relevant, but it wasn't the worst thing. But what I really hated was that if Charlotte is going to come out there and take the angle of her rebuttal being like, you're just saying what everyone else has said about me, like, pull a fucking B rabbit and you cut everyone to the chase first and go out there and give that promo.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's one of those that it was such a train wreck, but it has made the match so much more interesting.
Once that bell rings, though, I'm very excited to watch that match. No matter how bad that promo was, I didn't care. My intrigue of that match is still good because, again, as a former wrestler, I try to watch everything from being a former wrestler sometimes. And those two are frigging so athletically talented. It's insane.
It's going to be great.
No, and I'd like to see them. You remember when Mankind and Shawn Michaels, their first match on pay-per-view, where Shawn purposely acted like he got pissed on a spot, even though that was actually part of the work? I'd like to see them do some of that in that match, where it makes it look like they're really getting pissed at each other during the match, just to mess with the smarts.
That would be cool. Yeah. But I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot about that, Glenn. That promo. Yeah. Let me ask you guys a question back to Jey Uso and Gunther. What's your opinion? Obviously, Jey wins. But you think he's a transitional champion?
Depends on how much the audience is behind him still. I think
it's going to take a while for him to get, taken seriously as a real main event guy. Someone who, right now, Jey against Roman or Seth against Roman, that's like a pay-per-view main event match, but
Right.
Seth against Jay, not really so much. It's going to take a little time to elevate him, but this is a great first step. So I think, the angles that they've done the last couple of weeks have been fantastic. I thought the Gunther thing with Jimmy Uso was great. It just felt like they started this way too early because WrestleMania is so much later this year that, every week it was like Gunther chokes out Jay, or, Jay stands tall holding the belt. And they just did it too much where they were kind of running out of ideas. And now they're really pouring gas on.
Brother, they shouldn't have beaten Jay twice. They should not have done that with him. Have Gunther lose him. Have Gunther pin him twice. Saturday Night Live, which was just recently as well. I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, same here. Especially, I mean, if they knew going into this, if he beat him, it should have been more of a really screwy finish or something. But yeah, I agree. But overall, I think it's going to be a good way to elevate. Obviously Jay is not a new talent, but he's a new main eventer as far as like a new star and a new upper level star. So it's a new way to elevate him more onto that level.
The idea behind it is great. It's Drago versus Rocky, right? You have your underdog babyface versus giant, bleep kicker Gunther, right?
Yeah.
And so I get the theory, the logic, the psychology behind of booking those two together and have finally Jay overcome the obstacles and finally pin Gunther, right?
Yeah.
But they just did it with Sammy as well last year for the Intercontinental Championship. When you have guys like Gunther, you have to be very careful with who it is that pins them or who it is that beats him and do something with it. They wasted Sammy after he won that Intercontinental Championship, in my opinion. He won that when people were still wanting Sammy, if you guys remember, to be a heavyweight champion, at least in the main event picture. So maybe they learned their lesson from that, and that's why they're going with Jay, because they missed their window with Sammy, if you guys remember last year.
Yeah. It's interesting. Sammy doesn't really have he hasn't been on TV for a little bit, right?
No.
It's crazy. The fans love him, so I don't get it. But
yeah. I mean, one of my criticisms has been like how many multi-person matches they have and multi-tag team matches that they have, like to try to fit people on the card. But their talent roster is so stacked that if they don't do it, then you have people complaining that so-and-so is not on the card.
Yeah. Well, before I forget, I also want to shout out, get well soon, Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Heard terrible news we all saw about his neck.
Is that confirmed? It's going to be years?
No.
Okay.
That was a rumor. Yeah.
I don't believe so. But again, it's terrible time for Mania. But at the same time, Kevin's already can say he's main evented, two WrestleMania main events already, right? Like not everybody gets to say that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he'll have another one in front of him when he comes back one day. I just hope for speedy recovery. Great dude, even better person in real life. I just personally will always root for. He's a class act and a good dude.
So now with Randy Orton, it's probably going to be Randy Orton against Nick Aldis, right?
I am hoping so. I am hoping and I am praying. I texted and asked, but who knows? They could be, I could be getting, worked and I would lie to me too if I was going to be in it and not ruin it, right? But I hope and pray he gets his shot one day. If it's not this, it's something else. Dude's still in incredible shape.
Yeah, I think if it's going to be him, they need to hurry so they could show like some workout footage with Nick Aldis. So all these people who aren't familiar with them, like, oh, geez,
he's not going to be dwarfed.
Jacked.
He will not be dwarfed by Randy like most people are. Randy's bigger than him, no question, but he's not like superior bigger like he is towards most of the talents now.
It's crazy how big Randy Orton is. Remember back in the day, he was considered like like a tall, skinny guy.
We used to think he was skinny, and then he got in really good shape. Where he was like, he was skinny, but he was shredded. He had vascularity everywhere, right? And he was a perfect fit in Evolution. And Batista was the big muscle monster. But it wasn't like Randy looked like crap. He had abs, and the women in every audience loved that dude.
Yeah. Orton probably dwarfs Batista right now.
It's crazy. No, he definitely does. Oh, yeah, he definitely does. He's every bit of 255.
Right. Yeah. Real quick, a couple of these super chats. Chrono Shot with the $2 super chat
Yeah.
saying, "Been a
Hey,
long
Chrono.
time, guys. Hope y'all are well."
What
And
up,
then
Chrono?
our good friend Bigfoot Sneakerhead with the $4.99 super chat. Happy to see you guys. Not going to WrestleMania, but I'm going to SummerSlam. I went to NXT at MSG.
Oh,
That was amazing. Glenn, I'm surprised you didn't go.
was it when I was in town? I don't know. NXT is going to be here the Tuesday after Mania at Fountain Blue. So in addition to Stand and Deliver, that's kind of cool.
Are you going to go to that?
Yeah, I will. That'll be
Cool.
good. I've taken a break from most things the past few months since the Rumble, which has been really weird. Did you know there's other shows on television that are not professional wrestling? I was not aware of this.
Yes, I've been going down some of the rabbit holes. I just got Apple TV on my phone, or the Apple
nice.
channel.
Yeah.
They've got good shows on there.
Yeah. Reacher season 3 just wrapped up, which is nice.
Oh, nice. I need to check that out.
You're not watching Reacher? Oh my god.
So good.
Man, I've been watching 1923 and White Lotus, and so between those two, and then my wife and I
want a
have
big
been watching
muscle
Friday
man
Night
that's smart,
Lights.
kicking ass. Like
That dude
Reacher's
is jacked.
very 80s. Yeah.
He's
Have you guys
jacked.
seen Friday Night Lights?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay.
So my wife's not a big football fan. We're hooked. We're hooked on the show. We're on second season.
Okay. How's White Lotus? I heard a lot of people talking about that. It's not good. You don't think, Glenn?
I think the problem is something gets so hyped sometimes that it makes me not want to watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when everybody's like, "Oh, dude, you got to watch The Bear," and I'm like, I understand this is good, but you telling me this, it's going to let me down based on how much you've hyped this. You know, when that didn't happen, that was with The Wire. The Wire was the one where it was like, yes, this is as good as everyone says it is.
I thought it was even better than advertised. How good that show made me feel. That's one of the first shows that make me feel and cry.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Still one of the greatest of all time.
You got to watch Severance. It's a series on.
I've heard that's very good.
I'm 4 episodes into the new season.
What did you guys think?
It's good.
Yeah, it's great.
What did you guys think of the Cobra Kai ending? Did you finish it, Matt?
No.
You got to finish it, man.
Go talk about it. Go talk about it. It's okay.
There were some great moments in the last season. It didn't need to be 15 episodes long.
The last 5, I'll say the last 4 were great. I thought like the way they brought everything back.
You don't think the entire show itself jumped the shark like 2 seasons ago?
It did, but watch those last 4 episodes. It was great. Okay. Like they did a great job with those last. They nailed the landing on that.
But it went on like 2 seasons too long.
Yeah, and I feel like every single show is like every 2 episodes or every 3 episodes, it's the same setup from the same. They just insert a different character in.
Yeah. When they went back to Crease again, then it was like, okay, it's gotten long in the tooth. But definitely check out those last few episodes. You can skip most of the rest of the last season, but those last 4 episodes are great.
Yeah, in fact, it had some of the best moments of the entire series. I think it was the 3rd to last episode. It was really, really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys want to talk about a couple of these other WrestleMania matches? I'm kind of curious.
Sure.
Your opinion on this. LA Knight and Jacob Fatu.
Okay, I'm gonna obviously. We love LA Knight. I still think they're still but there's only so much room at the top to begin with. Yeah. I get it. It's a shame there's such a log jam there because this dude in my opinion, had heavyweight champion written all over him. If they built him right, but he's in a tough spot and he's got to do the honors for Jacob because Jacob is the next big thing, as we all know, right? So I think this would be good for LA Knight. If he makes him look like a beast and a monster and really gets Jacob over, I hope WWE sees that and goes, okay, we have a guy that can work with anybody we throw at him. And I hope they give him something in the main event picture, as a reward or something, because this guy is not getting injured, knock on wood. He's a little bit older. He's not getting injured. And he shows up to everything. And his promos are great. I like how he wrestles. He does a couple athletic things in there, which most muscle guys can't do. He's a whole package to me, but again, Jacob Fatu is otherworldly, like really good, and it's gonna be a good match.
What about this? Solo interferes and costs Jacob Fatu the match, and LA Knight wins, and then you pivot to Jacob Fatu being a babyface and him and Solo feuding after that. Because Solo's got nothing.
I don't hate that, but Solo's like. No offense to him, he had the biggest chance that anybody's ever been given. to take that scenario. Now, granted, it's not an easy. What a daunting task. Hey, by the way, Roman's out for a year. You fill in. What? Like what? Nobody can pull that off. To be fair to him, nobody except for Roman.
Yeah.
So it was an impossible task. He did good with it. I thought he didn't do good with it. He improved with it along the way. But no offense to him, this is not where he should be. Out of them all, Jacob's right there below Roman, in my opinion. Out of the whole family, he's the only one that's even more than Jay. To me, Jacob's
more than Roman.
More like here's Roman. To me, here's Jacob, right? Here's Jay.
Okay.
Here's Roman. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For me, as a fan.
Yeah.
Cool. What, Glenn, you got a prediction for that?
I feel like LA Knight is getting in the often the bridesmaid, never the bride territory.
Yeah.
For how over he's been. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But he hasn't had a big WrestleMania win yet, has he? Right?
Didn't he beat Logan Paul or something? Or am I making that up?
No, that was at SummerSlam.
Mania.
Yeah, that was at SummerSlam.
Okay.
Yeah. Jade Cargill against Naomi.
Ooh. Oh man, these are some good matches.
Yeah. It's more stacked than it. When you sit back and think about it, it's really stacked card.
It really okay. Obviously, Jade's got to win. Just because she doesn't win many, she's not. Has she beaten any major stars yet in a singles match?
Jade?
Yeah.
Not in like a big like. She hasn't had like a singles PLE win or anything like that.
Yeah. It's gonna be a great match either way. No matter who wins, I love them both. Love the storyline, and I think. Oh God! Well, what's the other girl doing? He beat AJ last year. It says at Mania. Come on, who am I forgetting here?
Bianca?
No, the one that filled in for Jade while Jade was hurt.
Oh,
Naomi. That's the match.
No. Oh, I confused that. I thought it was. You said it was Bianca versus Jade.
Oh no! Jade versus Naomi.
Bianca versus what's her name? Ripley in the three-way.
Yeah.
Okay, so have you been watching her promos?
Naomi. Yeah, they've been awesome. She's been great.
Did you see her backstage one that the vignette they did with her?
Mm-hmm.
It was the one right after where she was crying in the ring with Bianca. And they both. I wanted to do the show then. I wanted to because I was so impressed by those girls because it's not easy to make yourself cry. Like you can do it, but in an arena full of people with your adrenaline running, it's hard to cry and make it look like it's a real legitimate cry.
Yeah.
And they both were so deep in that onion of finding their characters in that moment. It felt so real. And then they did a great job of following up with her again, having her by herself backstage in the vignette form. The pre-tape form rather, where again I thought that was her best promo that she cut, and this was just on top of the week before. I would have said was her best in-ring promo she's ever cut in her career. So her promos have been absolute fire. I'm beyond excited for her and happy for her because she's one of the workhorses that have been here for quite a while, and sometimes doesn't always get, like Glenn, you said it, like with LA Knight sometimes being the bridesmaid, never the bride. Well, now she maybe gets her chance here in a featured match, versus Jade. I still think Jade has to win. Obviously, I just do because she's not beating him, like I said, a major star. But we'll see what happens. Either way, I love the storyline. I'm intrigued by the storyline. And again, she's doing the best work I've seen in her career. Those promos have been so damn good.
Yeah. Quick thanks to Paul Myers and Justin Lopez for reminding us that
it's a big win.
LA Knight beat AJ Styles last year at Mania.
It's a very big win.
A long time ago. Yeah, that was a big win. All right. I mean, we're running out of time here. Let's get one more. Let's do the women's world title. Io Sky versus Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley, and we could get the rest next week. Who do you guys got winning that?
It has to be Ripley if they're going by fan reactions and stuff like that. I don't think that they should have taken the belt off her to begin with. It made no sense to me at all. They could have went with Ripley versus Bianca as a singles match and been perfectly fine. You know, I like it. I do. I just don't. I thought it was rushed to take the title and put it on her just to get to this 3-way. But Ripley's my winner.
Yeah. Agree.
You agree, Glenn?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like Bianca versus Rhea Ripley in a singles match would have just felt bigger. Like, if anything, Charlotte and Tiffany could have used EO. But now that they're here, I don't know. I could kind of see them mixing it up because I feel like Rhea winning is almost too predictable.
It does feel too predictable, but I don't know. I think something has to happen here with Bianca. I feel like Bianca's on this edge where the fans are almost like they're booing her in comparison to Rhea. It almost feels like, and I don't know what WWE wants to do with that. I think they need to be more definitive with what they're telling these, women when they're getting out there. Like whether it was Charlotte going, listen, you're the heel, no matter how they react. Shove it where the sun don't shine. You hate these fans. You're the heel, Charlotte. Or if it's Bianca, same thing. You're the heel. If it's a slow burn into her becoming heel, okay, then I get it. Right? But she should act toward the crowd. The crowd's boner. Like, wait, what? Hold up. I was Mrs. It to you guys for how many years? Now all of a sudden you're going to be turning on me? Fuck, flick something. That makes it definitive of what she is out there. Because otherwise it just sounds like she's getting out popped by Rhea Ripley, which really isn't fair because Rhea's not having to do anything to cheat or do things that can be considered in a heel vein, like which somehow Bianca now has been thrown into because she messed up the 3-way match and cost Rhea the championship, right?
Yeah. Paul Myers were saying, if EO doesn't win, she looks like a complete loser, especially by the way they are booking this.
Compared to the other two talents, with respect to her, she's not the marquee name. She's not. Those two lift her up to their level, not the other way around.
Yeah. What about Bianca turning heel? She's never been heel on the main roster. That would be something different.
Very interested. I'd like to, she's such a lovable character, like a human being, right? She's very lovable. But I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Something different for her.
She was great in NXT as sort of anti-hero. I think, but I don't think she even has to change her character.
You explain her in NXT as an anti-hero?
Well, I think that they played it sort of both ways. Like she wasn't a clear-cut baby face, but she wasn't
bad mamma jamma, right? Like
that's what I'm saying. But that's the anti-hero to me. Like the Han Solo, the Stone Cold Steve Austin, the one where it's like they don't give an F whether you cheer them or boo them. Like that's different than coming out there and like making fun of the local sports team and all the other.
I got you. No, I got you.
Do you think we get any surprises at Mania? Any surprise returns? Any surprise cameos? Any?
If The Rock is not a part of it,
okay.
I do think he'll have something to do with it.
I do think so.
Who else, Raj? Anybody else?
I think so.
Do we think there'll be any other former WWE superstars coming back? Is there any unsigned talents that they could bring in out of left field? Unpredictable.
Let me think about that. We can talk about more next week, but
Rock, I do think will definitely have something on here somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But you got Miro in the background. You got Malachi Black.
Yeah, Rusev would be a bigger return than Malachi Black.
You think so?
Yes,
it's because of the Rusev Day stuff.
Yeah,
because Aleister Black coming back with the mist and everything. Yeah, I don't know. Like he was a bigger star in AEW for sure than
but look at the audience numbers. 5 times as many people know who Rusev is as Aleister Black.
Yeah.
Plus, how are you gonna?
Aleister Black is the bigger star between the two. I know what you're saying. I know what you're both saying.
Yeah.
But if you're comparing like the pop's going to be bigger for Rusev at first.
Yes. Funkasaurus would get a bigger pop than Aleister Black
because he's been on television X amount of times and people like cheering for him.
And that's no disrespect to Aleister Black. Plus, Aleister Black's going to be returning in the middle of the day. Like, it's like go watch Marilyn Manson play a festival in the middle of the day. It looks like a bunch of goths having a barbecue. Like it's nothing cool about that in daylight.
Wait, is that West Coast time or
West
it
Coast.
is West Coast
Starts
time,
at 3:30.
right?
It doesn't get dark here till like 9:30 at night.
But SoFi Stadium, is it?
Oh, it
Is
does
it
have
daylight?
the overhang. No, yeah, it's
Yeah.
got the but it's got the it's not tinted. I mean,
not
it's like
SoFi.
lightly tinted. Yeah.
Okay.
Allegiant.
Allegiant,
It's got the
yeah.
light tinting. It's not like it's not darkness in there.
No.
You know.
We got one more
Maybe-
super chat real quick.
hey,
NYC
Lisa.
Demon Diva,
My
welcome back.
WrestleMania
Thank
partner.
You. Yeah.
Maybe Aleister Black comes back the night after Mania at Raw.
Okay. Yeah, you do need some surprises for the night after Raw. Fernando Perez with the $1.99 super chat. Who do you think would benefit moving from WWE to AEW? Someone like Sheamus comes to mind, who's just been around forever. Like who's just gotten kind of stale and could use a change of scenery. But he signed a long-term deal, so he's not going.
Yeah.
AJ Styles.
Well, why? No, what about the younger talents? You don't think any younger talents that are being underutilized would have a better shot there?
Like who?
I'm trying to think of. That's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody from NXT, somebody from the roster that's maybe not getting a lot of TV time. Finn Balor, that's actually a good one.
Oh yeah.
That is a good one. But he's still being utilized pretty well. I mean, do you so many guys that go over there? It's not like they're put in the main event spot.
That's true.
I
don't know.
Finn Balor's in the solid upper mid card.
Did you guys
Kingmaker saying Rollins to AEW? I mean, he'd be a main event guy
mean,
there, but he's already a main event guy in WWE. So
that would be good, though. No, that would be a big shot in the arm. That'd be a huge
big
shot in
shot for
WWE.
sure.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the WWE ID, the developmental program, is doing a tournament in Vegas?
Yeah.
And Bailey's Izzy,
Yep.
is in the tournament, in the women's tournament.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, how time flies.
I was on a podcast with her like a couple of years ago. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean that's long-term storytelling.
Very proud of
Yeah.
her.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
They can do some cool stuff with her and Bailey when that time comes.
Super proud of her. Super proud of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Ooh, there it is. That's what I was looking for.
Austin Theory.
Yes. Yes. He either gets used correctly. They make him into a joke, which he shouldn't be. They drop the ball with him so badly. And it's not his doing, it's their creative's doing.
Yeah. Well, this was great, guys.
He's not a tag team guy. He's a single star, but nonetheless.
Yeah. So my question before we go off the air, Matt Morgan, how many grams of protein do you get per day?
I don't go past, honestly, 120 grams.
Really? Interesting.
I have chronic kidney disease stage about to move to graduate stage 1. I was at stage 3, went to stage 2. Now I'm at stage 1. It's all because I was taking too much protein. For 20 years straight, you guys, I would take 50 grams plus of protein every 3 hours. I'm dead serious on that. And I was making my kidneys work ridiculously over time. And I didn't know that. I grew up reading the 90s muscle magazines, right? Protein must be good, right? No, in moderation it is. It's like anything else. But you overwork your kidneys. And I did that to myself. So I had found a nephrologist a few years back. And I've been able to still weightlift, bodybuild, and things like that with not passing 120 grams of protein per day at my size. I'm still over 300 pounds.
Supplements or food?
No, I've got to use food.
Yeah. Okay.
I use food. I can't even take a fat burner. I can't. I don't even want to take that chance, that risk.
No, I get it. Creatine. I had a scare. If you don't drink enough water with creatine, you get a viscous quality to your urine, and it feels like you're pissing motor oil. Didn't really enjoy that.
Yeah, glutamine is probably the only powder that I would take. But everything else has got to be like 20, which is ridiculous. I used to, like I said, 50 grams I used to take. So at first it was hard to get used to having to take in 20 grams of protein per meal. Tons of salads. Have salad every meal, even in between meals. That's helped me really clean out and improve my kidney score. And tons of water as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, so people out there, I think you do too much protein is not good for you. I feel like such an idiot for nobody telling me this, because
it's good to know. everywhere I turn, everyone's like, you got to do a gram for every pound. And I'm just
Yes.
like,
And if you
I'm
want to
like-
get bigger, it's 1.5 grams, they say. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
at
yeah.
Morgan. I'm 340 pounds at the time. It must mean I need 600 a day or
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I mean?
it's insane.
Yeah, I'm probably at a little above 100. I do a protein shake every morning after my workout with creatine, and then I kind of just eat regularly throughout the day. I don't really take any extra protein other than what's in my lunch and dinner. I don't eat breakfast. I do the intermittent fasting, but yeah.
Although
And that
intermittent
that's been
fasting, no, now there's all the science. Everyone was like, don't intermittent fast. It fucks up your metabolism.
like messes it up. How?
Well, that your body will adjust, and basically you have to, like, if you do intermittent fasting, you have to change the window to keep your body guessing, or else you get into conservation mode. Like now all the people that I'm following, and I'm watching all the Huberman, all the different people, but it's like, eat something first thing immediately in the morning. What's his face? Tim Ferriss has the 30 minutes of exercise, 30 grams of protein within 30 minutes of waking up. It's crazy, right? And it's just like, I feel like nobody actually knows what in the hell they're talking about. But it's weird to see the conventional wisdom change. I don't know. I've been lifting weights again for 2 months, and for the last 6 weeks, I gave myself an eating disorder again immediately. Like, it was so simple to do that because you get into this habits and you get in your head about it, and it's just
Yes, you do.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle, but whatever.
It is. Yeah. So back next week,
Sure.
and then possibly after. I can do night 2 after WrestleMania, but we will figure it out.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, dudes. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. Matt's at BP Matt Morgan, Rogers at the Raj Giri. I'm at Glenn Rubenstein. Catch you back here next time on Gigantic Pop. Take care.